What's going on, YouTube? I'm playing with my webcam right now. I believe this should be 1080p 60 FPS. So let me know if 4K looks better at 30 FPS or if y'all like 1080p 60 FPS better. Trying to play with it, figure it out. But here we go. The moment y'all been waiting for, my loyal fans to new subs, whoever, we about to do it right now. The breakdown of Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. I saw the weigh-ins. I noticed that Tyson Fury didn't take his shirt off. Is he pulling an Andy Ruiz? Nah, I don't think so. See, Andy Ruiz wearing a lot of clothes to hide up how obese he was. I didn't think he was going to come in that fat when I saw the weigh-ins. I thought it was more muscle until I saw him in the ring. Had it been more muscle, then I would have said that my watching weigh-in prediction probably would have been true, as AJ was void of power in that fight. However, he was sloppy. The difference in this one is Tyson Fury left his little shirt vest on, right? His sleeveless shirt on. And as I looked at it, I noticed some things that I don't know if people picked up on. When Tyson Fury did his arms like this and went to flex, right? So when he was flexing, look at that double split. I ain't even worked out in 6 months and I still got it barely there. Y'all can see it. Anyways, enough of me. His arms didn't jiggle. Like normally, Tyson Fury's arms look like an old lady and they jiggle in the air. He doesn't look that solid because he carries a lot of fat. Also, what I noticed behind the vest was I saw Tyson doesn't really have man boobs, but his chest is always really soft. And in that vest, I saw an outline of his actual pecs. So I'm thinking come fight night, what we're going to see is a Tyson Fury in a hell of a lot better shape than what we're used to seeing. I think he did some strength training, and I really think that this is going to be a stronger Tyson Fury than what we're used to seeing. However, here we go again with Deontay Wilder and his camp. First, I was talking about working on the left hook. A video came out the very next day from his camp talking about they working on the left hook. Now, I've been saying all along that Deontay Wilder, because of his physique, his speed, how much power he has naturally, around 230 to 240 is like the perfect zone for him. I am that guy that always says size matters, weight matters, but when you have a guy like Deontay Wilder who can knock out 250, 260 pound men at 209 pounds, you don't have to get him as big, but you need him bigger, because Tyson Fury showed in their first match how easily it was for him to body Wilder when they came chest to chest. When they came into the clinch, a lot of Wilder's wild punches, not being able to land a lot, was dictated because he was getting bodied so easily by Fury that he couldn't really do anything once Fury got up on him. Now you're seeing Wilder come in 230. Whew! Looking mean, looking lean, looking fit. This is the Wilder that's even going to be scarier. And here's the thing. I've seen some stuff on the internet, and y'all know I'm straight down the middle. Everybody knows I like Tyson Fury better. I don't like what Tyson Fury's been saying. That's why I made the video that Tyson Fury's not good for boxing, because he already said he would not fight AJ. Well, Wilder fight, I have my doubts, but at least he hasn't said he'll never fight him like Fury did. Anyways, I've been seeing on the internet that they're trying to say that Deontay Wilder's on steroids. Oh, he put on 15, 16 pounds of muscle. That's steroids. He ain't got no fat. That's steroids. It's too much muscle to gain. Bullshit. Don't listen to these people. A lot of these YouTubers or YouTube fitness channels, boxing analysts, YouTubers, even journalists, they've never been athletic in their life. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're stupid. Here's the thing. Deontay Wilder's 6'7", okay? 209 to 215 is his natural walk-around weight, which is severely underweight. Deontay Wilder looks big on camera because, and this is something you'll see in bodybuilding, white guys look black on stage. Black guys look like charcoal on stage because they tan and then they spray tan their body. The darker your body is, the more light that's absorbed. The thing about that is when you're really lean, muscle makes you appear bigger, especially on camera, as it adds size to you. It makes you appear bigger than what you really are. So the darker your skin, the more lean you are, the bigger you look. However, if you were to meet Deontay Wilder in real life at 209, he's a little guy. You can tell certain things when you see people from the side, how thick they are, how thin they are, how wide their back is, how big their legs are. Although Deontay Wilder is a very top-heavy fighter, which, you know, small joints, saying you miss leg days like calves and all of that, it's not really that important. More like thighs, your gluteus maximus, aka your butt. That's where the power really comes from. Calves are more genetic, and some people just naturally are bigger up top than down low. And normally you see that in a lot of speed people like Deontay Wilder, who's super fast. So again, to get to the point that I'm trying to allude to, these people are non-athletic. They've never gained weight. They've never been ripped. They've never been solid. They've never done what they're talking about, so they have no idea of what they're talking about. When you're 6'7" at 209, you could put on 30 pounds in 1 to 3 months with ease and it all be lean because you're so undersized. Everything you're putting on is just going to be muscle. You're not going to start getting a soft body assuming that you stay athletic, assuming that you're hitting weights or you're boxing like Wilder is, assuming that you're doing some type of aerobic activity. When you're undersized, as you put on weight, it's going to pretty much be solid weight. It's not going to be a lot of fat because you're so small. It's like you could take a guy who's been starved, and when you see them put weight back on, they're very muscular at first. Now, once you get to a point to where you hit your natural limit, which I don't think 230 is anywhere near Deontay Wilder's natural limit, to get past that, that's when you start seeing people put on fat, or they'll stay real lean and then put on muscle, and then you can go to the steroids thing. But again, for a guy like Deontay Wilder, who's so small for 6'7", that's natural weight. I guarantee y'all, if Wilder keeps eating like however he's been eating, increasing the food and increasing whatever he's been doing, he could put on another 10 to 15 pounds at 6'7" and stay just as lean without worrying about any fat. I would not want him to do that, and the reason for that is, like I said, at 209, if he can knock out guys 250, 260, you want to keep him trim because he's already got the God-given talent. However, he was getting bodied, so you need him to get a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger. Plus, as you saw in the first fight, Tyson Fury doesn't hit hard, and he doesn't try to take you out. He boxes around you. He'll tap you to death. That's how Fury fights. He'll hold you. He'll slow down the pace of the fight. But he had Wilder wobbled a couple of times in that first fight. Not only did he have Wilder wobbled, but even both times on both occasions that Wilder knocked Fury down, Fury came back to control the rounds. That's got to do with weight. Wilder getting wobbled by a soft punch. Because you got to understand, I say soft punching, I mean soft in the aspect of a professional fighter. Soft in the aspect of a 250, 260 pound man hitting you. If Fury was to hit the average Joe, he's going to hurt them severely bad because they're still 250, 260 pounds hitting you. He just doesn't hit as hard as your average heavyweight or your more devastating knockout power. That's what I mean by soft punch. So, Wilder being wobbled by somebody who doesn't hit that hard, putting on weight means he can absorb more damage. Not only does it mean that he can absorb more damage, but that muscle is going to add strength. Strength is going to add power. Not only is it going to add power, but it's going to add body weight to it. So, as long as Deontay Wilder, and that's why I say 230 to 240 for him, just for him, is the perfect size, is because he is a speed fighter. People, and I've spoke about this before, when he does that hop skip, he comes across that ring so fast. And I saw a breakdown at the weigh-ins to where I think they said, I can't remember the rate of speed that he said, but it was like, it's like a 205 mile per hour fastball coming at you. That's speed, fast twitch muscles. So you don't want to get Wilder, who's not the technically most gifted guy, to slow down, because if you slow him down, now he might not be able to land a hit. So you want to get him as big as possible without negating his speed, and I believe that's what they have done. As long as he doesn't keep getting big, he's good. 230, 240 weight range is perfect, and I'm glad somebody from this camp must be listening to my channel. Now, before I get down to the breakdown, I want to discuss this because I already tried to send 2 messages now, and I'm not going to send a third one. This guy on my channel, Antonio. People can see me go back and forth with him all the time on the lives. It's cool. I'm not going to type it out again. This is the big debate that I've had with other people on other channels, and people trying to say that regardless who wins, Wilder, Fury is not the A side. AJ has a better resume. Well, here's the problem with using a resume, okay? That resume of AJ's falls apart. If you're going off resume of AJ as your argument, then you've done shot yourself, not in the leg, but you shotgun blasted yourself in the face. You blew your own head off because this debate is so easily debunked and ripped apart. Here's what I mean by that. Let's go by resume. Let's go to resume route. Who beat AJ? Andy Ruiz. What is Andy Ruiz's resume? Who has he beat? You could argue he beat Parker in a very close fight. Outside of that, who did he beat? Nobody. But he lost to Parker on the scorecards. It was close enough to where they didn't give it to Ruiz. It was a life or death match for both men. Very close fight. I had Ruiz winning, but regardless, he lost the fight. So when it comes to resume, AJ lost to a guy with a subpar resume who doesn't even stand up even to Deontay Wilder's resume. Deontay Wilder has a better resume than Andy Ruiz at this moment. So when you use resume, you must understand that AJ lost to a guy with the weakest resume. And by that alone, he's done. He's out the runnings for the number one guy. Also, as I discussed in my last video, Tyson Fury is the lineal champion. He is the man who beat the man. He is the man who never got defeated. And the other thing, too, is people want to make it out like Klitschko fought Anthony Joshua right after AJ. No. That didn't happen at all. And he didn't go from training camp to training camp. Klitschko was supposed to have fought Tyson Fury in 2015. They were supposed to have an immediate rematch, which never ended up happening. Klitschko was only in camp for a month, and then from that 1 month of training camp was done all the way up till he fought Anthony Joshua, which was over a year and a half later in 2017. Okay? So let's not pretend Klitschko didn't have ring rust, and let's not pretend Klitschko, who was already old, wasn't even older, and let's not pretend that ring rust doesn't affect older fighters worse. Now, when you go to the Klitschko fight, who did better? By far, Tyson Fury. Did Klitschko put Tyson Fury on his ass? No. What did Tyson Fury do to Klitschko? Negated his entire offense. Klitschko could not do anything. Anything. Whereas when AJ fought a ring-rusted older Klitschko, it went life or death to him, even getting floored and almost knocked out. He weathered the storm. He came back, got a great victory. But you cannot give AJ more credence over being the inactive Klitschko than you can over Tyson Fury being the active Klitschko that hadn't been defeated for 10 years. You just can't. So the AJ being the man of the division argument is dead. It's done. This fight right here, whether you like Wilder's resume or not, if he beats Tyson Fury, he is the man, because he becomes the man who beat the man who beat the man who beat the man. He is now your lineal champion. There's no more discussion. What Wilder chooses to do from here can either increase or lower his value of him being the man. When he becomes the man, if he wins, I know he has to fight Tyson Fury, but let's get Tyson Fury out the way. If he chooses to say, fight Andy Ruiz and knocks him out bad, well, there you go. He beat Ruiz better than AJ did and never lost to him. If he goes on to knock out Dillian White, well, there you go. A guy who's just been fighting nothing but top 10 fighters just got beat. Deontay Wilder's value is going to be contingent on what he does after this fight, or these two fights with Fury. If Fury gets knocked out, if he even comes back. But it's all on what Deontay Wilder does. Can AJ take the number one spot back? Yes. AJ's fighting Pulev. If he beats Pulev and fights other harder fighters, and we see Wilder from here on go for lesser tier opponents, then by all means, yes, AJ can take the spot back. But at this moment, with AJ losing to a guy who beat nobody but AJ, you can't give it to AJ. As much as I like AJ, you cannot give it to him. This fight means everything. Now, in 15 minutes into this video, we're going to get into the actual video. So, what does Deontay Wilder need to do? As I discussed before, Deontay Wilder needs to work on feints. He needs to work off the left hook, baiting Tyson Fury to come in. We already know Tyson Fury is going to come in because he came in a lot to grab. A very good counter to somebody grabbing you constantly is a short left hook. You just check hook them as they come in, and that is a good way to keep them off of you, especially when you're hitting them often and it's hurting them. Outside of that, here's a trick that a lot of people don't know that's never boxed, okay? Most people, unlike Terrence Crawford and a few other switch fighters, are so accustomed to only fighting one way. They fight traditional, they fight southpaw. That's it. When you're fighting a guy like Tyson Fury, and I highly doubt Wilder's camp did this, but if they did, thumbs up to you. When you're fighting a very elusive fighter, it is sometimes good to switch up the way you fight. What I mean by that is if you're traditional, now you go southpaw. The reason for that is your dominant side is always going to be faster. So when you can't connect with, say, jabs or straights, then what you do to circumvent that is you move your straight closer to your opponent and your jab is right there. So now your jab's moving faster and that's your power hand. So now every jab you're hitting with turns into a power shot even though it's just a jab. Every jab that you're hitting hurts. And with a guy like Deontay Wilder that can knock people out with the left or the right, you don't sacrifice a lot by putting your left arm back, your non-dominant hand, because you've already got explosive knockout power with it anyways. When you do that, what you do is you target somewhere on the body, whether it be the face, the chest, or the stomach, that you're constantly jabbing at. That's what you're working on. Bow, bow, bow. Hurting it, hurting it, hurting it, hurting it without taking a lot of damage or risk, because now y'all are very close and that other fighter has to be hesitant about a knockout artist coming at him. With that being said, after about the second, third round, you go back to confuse them. Now you got your power back. Now you've already softened the target up, and that's what you're targeting for the straights. Should Deontay Wilder be patient like he was against Ortiz in this fight? No, he should not. I think that was a tactical decision that they made against Ortiz, as I did in my breakdown, and Wilder fought that way against Ortiz. You wasn't worried about the scorecard for Ortiz because you know he couldn't go all 12 rounds. You knew without a fact that if Ortiz pressed the action, he would get tired, and the tireder he gets, or the tireder that anybody gets, is easier to knock them out. And that's what Wilder did. He implemented the perfect game plan. The scorecard was not the point. The point was to get them tired, put it on them. You're a knockout artist. You've knocked everybody out but one person, and only 2 fights you didn't get a knockout in, so you know the knockout's going to come if they get tired, especially when you don't get tired at all. And that's what he did. And this fight, what I see Wilder needing to do is work on straight punches. No more wild stuff, because we already know that if Wilder opens up wild, Fury's just going to step in and grab. That's why I said short little hooks, bow, bow. Wait for him to, you could bait him. You could even, like with Wilder, he's so wild with how he throws punches. He could throw a wild hook, stop, bait Fury to come in, and then automatically turn. Just all you're doing is rotating your tippy toe of your left foot and coming, boom. He won't be expecting it because you're squared, and then boom. And what it also does is on that feint, because Fury in the first fight didn't really get into a shooting battle. So that's what I'm saying, that he can open himself up, bait Fury to come in and hit him with that left hook, which I think is going to be his most valuable punch in this fight, as he's coming in, to make him think twice about wanting to come in. What Wilder needs to do to Fury is keep a gap, because Wilder is most dangerous when he can cock his whole body back and come forward. The way Wilder fights is not traditional in the aspect of he's doing things that you should never do. He's putting himself in bad positions that could be countered but he does it with no fear, no hesitation. So he's normally, when he's throwing those crazy looping punches or them straights with everything wide open, he's coming wide open at you, and you don't have enough time to really react or counter because he's not hesitating. He's not cocking back and then shooting. He's just coming. It's just doop, right there. It's like just pulling a trigger. There's no hesitation. So that's what I see Wilder needs to do. I would love to see if Wilder did practice the southpaw stance to come out, pepper up Fury, especially if Fury's going to come in, trying to brawl with him. Just pepper up something, soften it, then switch back and bow. Break down what you already softened up. What I see Tyson Fury needing to do, do not, and I will repeat, do not get into a fucking shootout battle with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is 230 now, 231 to be exact. Deontay Wilder put on more weight than Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder's weight is going to help him more than what Tyson Fury put on. When you think about the difference in 209 to 230, the last time they fought, and the difference in 254 to 273, you got to think that 209 to 230 is on a 6'7" frame, 2 inches shorter. So therefore that weight is going to impact that lower center of gravity more than the lesser weight gained by the bigger guy. So with you knowing that Wilder's coming in even bigger, and you could tell he's even more solid, you cannot get into a shootout like Fury wants to do. Can Fury knock Wilder out? Yes, it is very possible. He hurt Wilder in the first fight, but I don't think his knockout should come in a firefight. What it should come off of is him doing what he does, counter-punching, and then when he's got Wilder hurt, pressing the action. If he presses the action before he hurts Wilder, he will get caught and he will get put down. Will he stay down? I don't know, but I'm here saying it now that if Wilder hits a left straight, Fury ain't getting up more than one time from that combo. That's all it's going to take. Left straight, Fury goes down. If he can get up and Wilder left straights him again, he won't get up a second time. I can promise y'all that. He will not get up. He won't. It'll be over. He's only got one extra life when it comes to that combo, in my opinion. Now, the good thing with Fury is he did put on weight. What you need to look at is Deontay Wilder's coming in heavier than he's been in a long time. I'm not sure what his heaviest has ever been. I really think his heaviest was like 229. So I think he's 2 pounds heavier than he's ever been in his career. And if that be the case, then you want to make him feel that weight, especially with Fury putting on more weight. So when you get in close quarters to where you know Wilder's about to start unloading, and I know it sounds counterintuitive because I said how Wilder needs to counter the grab, Fury needs to look with his arms high and catch anything that comes down the pipe, but really arms high, guarding this from the left hook. And we don't see Wilder throw a lot of uppercuts, so that's why here it is more protective because it's not the punch that you're really most worried about. It's the looping hooks that you're really worried about, or the straight down the middle, so you keep it here. So what I'm saying is Fury needs to go back to the old days of boxing to where when you tie up, you hook your chin over their shoulder and you lean down, or you slip your hands down when you got your arms around their arms so they can't counterpunch you, and you like bear hug, you squeeze in and up into their lower back. So it starts to put a lot of wear on their back and their legs. So you slow them down. You want to make Wilder feel that extra weight. You want to try to tire Wilder out, being that he is heavier than he's been in a long time. Now, we've never seen Wilder tired, but we've never seen anybody just wear down on him either. So you really want to test that weight and that strength and your added weight by getting them tired. The more tired people become, the harder it is for them to knock out, and the slower the punches come when they're throwing knockout blows. So that's a key factor right there. Another thing Fury needs to do is he needs to always keep his guard high, watching for the hooks, and he's got to be very careful when he likes to dive or duck underneath shots, not really slipping, but he likes to lean down real low, because what ends up happening is Wilder is so fast that he caught him, and everybody wants to say it's an illegal blow, and it's not. And I'm going to explain that. He caught him in the back of the head the first time he knocked him down, and that, by definition, is called a rabbit punch, which is an illegal punch unless you turn the back of your head to the fighter. So when Wilder's throwing a punch, right, if Fury moves in a position where that punch hits him in the back of the head, that's not on Wilder. That's not considered an illegal punch in boxing. It's just like if I'm throwing a straight at you, right, and you turn around and I accidentally hit the back of your head and you knocked out because of it, it won't be an illegal punch because you turned your back to me so I can hit you in the back of the head. Now, with that being said, where it becomes illegal is, let's say you turn around and then I start unloading on the back of your head. That's illegal. But if a punch is already in flight and you turn your head and you get hit in the back of the head, that's on you. That's not on the fighter. It's kind of like in the NFL where helmet to helmet is illegal, but if both guys drop down or the runner with the ball drops their helmet into your helmet as the defender, you won't get called for a helmet to helmet because they dropped into it. Same concept when it comes to boxing. So again, another thing that Fury needs to do is make sure that gap does not become wide. It's counterintuitive because Wilder is the shorter man and not the longer man, and Fury is the longer man. But this is where you really need to use your boxing abilities. Wilder is the most dangerous when you give him that space. So either he can wind up or he can shoot across at you. When you close the gap, that's when Wilder is at his weakest because, yes, he has thrown some jabs. He's done better with the straight punches here lately, but he's still very weak when it comes to precision straight punches in close quarters. Fury, never being a real knockout artist, although he does have knockouts, you don't have to worry about keeping Wilder at the end of your punch. You want to close that gap so you're hitting him and you're never really in that danger and you're disrupting his punches before he can get them off. And you close it too, it's just like in MMA with a kick. How do you stop a kick? You move into the kick. How do you stop a punch from hurting you as bad? You get close to the target. That's why when you see a tall guy versus a short guy, the short guy always wants to get closer to the tall guy. You put the tall guy at the end of your punches so you have more impact. The tall guy is T-Rex arm punching you so they can't get the leverage to hurt you. That's what Tyson Fury needs to do, being that he's never been a knockout artist. That's how I see both men needing to do their game plan. Tyson Fury, close the gap, keep the punches straight, hands up high, especially whenever he's bobbing and weaving and ducking and diving. He needs to keep these up because he likes to put his hands down and do like this for the highlight reel, and you don't need to do that when you know Wilder can catch you on the back end, on the back of your head. So you need to guard yourself at all times. So that's a flaw in Fury. That's what I think Fury needs to do. Fury needs to work off the jab, disrupt, even if they're just a little touching jab, or even go old school to where you keep your glove in Wilder's face because you're going to disrupt him being able to hit you with hooks, because a straight punch always beats a hook. And if it gets into a jabbing battle, I believe Fury's the better fighter, or boxer, I should say. So I don't think Wilder's going to beat him in close quarters in a jabbing battle or a straight battle. That's how I see it. Tyson Fury needs to implement that extra weight, lean on Wilder, make Wilder feel that extra weight he's not used to fighting with. He needs to close the gap, hit him with straights. Wilder, on the flip side, when Fury's coming to grab, he needs to try to hit him with the left hook, then come down the pipe. He needs to straighten up his punches. I would like to see him start off southpaw and start dot, dot, dot. The only time he would need to change that is if Fury does come in and tries to unload on him, then switch back immediately. Because when you're not used to fighting in a different style, you're not going to be able to fire off the same. You're going to be too off balance. So if Fury does come aggressive, then stay your normal stance. But if Fury fights like he normally fights, trying to be elusive, then I say I would like to see Wilder in the southpaw stance to begin with, and then switch it up after about the second or third round ends. Left hooks coming in, out. If Wilder can work on that uppercut, when I was saying something you never see him do, that's another good counter to somebody trying to grab you. You take a little You bait him to come in to grab you. Act like you're going to throw something. When you see him coming for the grab, take a little slide back and then come up the pipe and hit that chin. You got to make him think about not wanting to come in and grab you. I think I've really discussed what I need to see from both men. Now, let's get into the BS factor of this match. I do not like the referee for this fight. I believe it's Kenny Bayless. Crazy Eyes? No, I'm not going to talk about him because people could talk about me. I don't like him because he's known to stop fights early. He's known not to give a fighter the benefit of the doubt. That's a bad thing when you're against a guy who can knock you down. That's a bad thing when you're against a guy who can make you wobble or step funny and you have to turtle shell to get your composure back because the referee can step in and say, you're not fighting back. You can't defend yourself. Even if you're blocking all the punches, a referee can stand in and wave off the fight. And that's what I get scared of the most. I don't remember, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I almost believe that he is the same referee who did not allow Ricky Hatton to grab Mayweather and dirty box in the clinch. He would separate him immediately, which is really going to come against what I just said Fury should do, where he should lean in and weigh him down. Kind of like Lewis, jab, jab, grab, or Klitschko, jab, jab, grab. Except they didn't really lean on you like Fury needs to do, being a taller guy and bigger, just lean. And if he keeps Fury from being able to hold when he shouldn't, excessive holding is one thing, but tactical holding is different. I don't know. It's just with the referee of selection, knowing that he's prone to early stoppages, even if they're not needed, and the judges, albeit from America, although the judges have no dictation on a knockout ends the fight. It looks to be that everything is tilted against Fury in this fight. So Fury, again, cannot get into a firefight with Wilder. If he is, he's got to catch him after a counter when he's got him hurt and then press the action instead of backing off like he did the first time. If he goes in for the second round knockdown and barely gets clipped and doesn't look to be hurt and goes down, there's a possibility that Bayless just steps in and waves his hands. And I believe that's who the referee is for this fight. I might be saying it wrong. I might be thinking the wrong name, right face. But I believe I'm right. And if he just barely gets clipped and goes down, he might wave it off on the first knockdown and not even give Fury a chance. And I can tell you, if he gets knocked down like he did in the 12th round, there's no way this ref is letting him get up. There's no way he's going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He'll wave it off the minute. He won't even give him a chance to recompose himself. He'd wave it off immediately just off of how he fell. And that's the unfortunate part about this. That's what I'm saying. Fury cannot get into a firefight when Wilder is 100%. He's got to hurt him off a counter and then get in. How do I see the fight going? If Fury does what he says he's going to do and runs out there and tries to blitz out Wilder, I think he's going to get caught. I think he's going to get knocked down. I would not be surprised, as I just mentioned, if it's a controversial stoppage and fans are pissed off because the fight is stopped prematurely. But I do see Fury more than likely going down first in a firefight. I think if Jack Reese was the referee again, I think a firefight could have been possible where he could get up multiple times. Because I do believe at the end of the day that Fury can absorb more damage than Wilder can. So what I mean by that is even if Fury gets knocked down off a flash knockdown, I believe he could do enough damage to Wilder before he gets knocked down and gets up that he'll start weathering Wilder away to where Wilder won't be able to knock him down and Wilder will get knocked out. I do believe that. So anyways, with the referee of choice, if Fury does what he says he's going to do and goes out there and tries to blitz him, I see Deontay Wilder having a short night, winning by knockout. However, if Fury fights smart and tries to finish Wilder when he's got Wilder on wobbly legs, I know Fury is more than skilled enough to put him away. I know Fury can knock him out. I know because I saw it in the first one that the knockout opportunities were there. And I'm going to state this right now. And I know it's like a 50-50 because I can't really judge this because you don't know if Fury's going to do what he says he's going to do or if he's going to be smart about it. If Fury does what he says he's going to do, look for a first or third round knockout by Wilder. If Fury fights like I know he should fight, I'm going to say it now that Wilder will not make it past the 8th round. He will not. I would not be surprised if Wilder gets knocked out in the 4th or 5th round and Fury presses the action off the counter punches. I would not be surprised at all. It won't go past 8 if Fury presses the action off the counter punches. It won't go past 3 if Fury just runs at him. And if Fury runs at him and knocks him out, then I don't want to hear nothing about AJ's name being mentioned because that's something no fighter has been able to even attempt against Deontay Wilder, running into the fire and not getting burnt. If Wilder beats Fury, like I believe he's going to do if Fury sticks to the game plan that he's saying he's going to do, then I'm sorry. As much as I like AJ, I am saying right now that I believe Anthony Joshua can beat Deontay Wilder if Joshua comes in his 250s. If Joshua comes in at 240, Joshua Ruiz 2, Joshua outboxed Ruiz. I would never say somebody runs. But Joshua's punches couldn't even knock the sweat off of Ruiz's face in his 240s. Whatever he was doing, he didn't have the power. He did not have the power. And for all the people who want to argue that the second fight was fought different than the first fight, it wasn't. It was not. The difference in the first fight was AJ was doing the same type of fighting style, but he hurt Ruiz. When he hurt Ruiz and knocked him down, he went in to finish him and got caught, and they got the brakes beat off of him. And this fight, there was no opportunity for AJ to press the action because he could not hurt Ruiz. And AJ at 240 going for more speed wasn't speed. It was Ruiz coming in out of shape that helped AJ out to where Ruiz couldn't cut him off. AJ was still moving like a turtle flipped over on his shell. He's slow. He is not an athletic fighter. He is not a speed fighter. He is a power fighter. He is a tank. He is a very good technical boxer. And if you take away his power and bring him in his 240s against Wilder at 230 or possibly even heavier in the future, I don't want Wilder over 240. But Wilder will knock AJ out. He will chin him. And there's a huge difference in between Wilder at 230 and AJ at 240. Oh, well, you always say more weight is better. Yes, it is. But AJ's not born with God-given gift like Wilder. AJ's not knocking people out like that at 240. AJ would not knock anybody out at 209. AJ knocks people out off his strength. When he's big, he's strong, he knocks them out. When you take his strength away, he's lost his ability to knock people out and to even hurt them. He does not hit as hard as Wilder, small. That's how I see it. I don't know how much more I can say. I've been going for 40 minutes now. I want to do a long video on this as I haven't done a video in a while. And again, go ahead, send me messages. If y'all want to know more breakdowns in the comment section before this fight starts, go ahead and hit me up now. Hopefully this video will hit before the fight airs because this is going to be a while. And again, before I close out the video, just to remind y'all, let me know what y'all like better. Do y'all like 4K better or do y'all like 1080p 60 FPS better? I'm thinking 1080p 60 FPS will be better whenever I start doing my tutorials again as the movement will be more fluid. But y'all let me know what y'all like. Thank y'all for watching. And don't forget, give it a thumbs up if you watch this, you like it. And if you really like it, please sub to the channel as it helps me grow. Thank y'all again for watching. I am out.